Welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Rectifier Hoffmeyer, and joining me is Nick Solar Sailor Rehack.
I like that because I do work in the solar industry, so that is very fitting.
Wow. I knew that too, and then I saw that, but I didn't plan on that. So it's got to be something up there in my brain that put that together.
It's got to be.
I don't really rectify
You got a great
anything.
brain, dude.
Yeah, I don't really rectify anything, so I wonder where I pulled that from.
I think you rectify some wrongs in the podcasting world. You come out with some opinions, and they're like, yeah, you know what? Mark's right.
Yeah.
He's right on that one. So you're making changes out there.
You know, for years I just thought that, Ernest B. Worrell from the Ernest franchise was just an idiot. But now I realize that troll cursed him, and that's why he's so dumb, because his entire bloodline is so dumb. But since he's so dumb, now he's so powerful that he was able to defeat a troll whose curse backfired, and he was defeated.
See? And you're able to rectify that logic, and people are like, you know what? Mark's right.
Oh,
what a great lunchtime read. Mark's right, man.
That was a fun piece to write. Very it makes sense though. If you want to go to a movie, films, and flicks, I wrote a Ernest P. Worrell theory. So it's pretty good. It makes sense. It's there. It works.
It absolutely does. And it brought joy to my day because of reading it, I felt the passion. And every bite of my peanut butter and jelly was that much more enjoyable having read that article.
Did you have Miak on there?
I did not.
That's fine. It's a fictional property. It's a fictional product. So if you did use it, I would have some questions.
I'd call you a liar.
Yeah, liar! I'm done with you, Rehack. Get on your jet ski
this show
and get
was
out of
really
here.
Short.
Get on your jet ski and get out of here.
Leave your badge and your gun.
No more doctoring on that jet ski for you.
And in your stethoscope and your gun.
No,
he's got me, Tom.
So to understand what we're talking about, we did a jet ski action scene draft for the first episode you came back. And then we did a bathroom fight draft. And then we did a desert island soundtrack where we took 5 soundtracks to a desert island. Mm-hmm. And you suggested, one of us suggested, hey, let's do a Purple Rain soundtrack draft for just one episode. I was like, let's add Tron Legacy in there too. Totally different scores, soundtracks, but things we love. And I gotta tell you, have you seen, I brought this up on Deep Blue Sea, the podcast. It was a good gag, but have you seen the Everybody Hurts video by R.E.M.?
I feel like maybe once, but it has been a while.
Everyone's just depressed in cars. Now, this episode should have been very exciting for me, but there is so much to the Purple Rain soundtrack. These 9 songs. I mean, just this album, to top of the charts, 24 weeks. It won an Oscar. This is one of the highest selling, most popular, most critically lauded albums of all time. Mm-hmm. And so each song has an oral history about it. So if you research each song, there's a ridiculously long amount of a lot of research about it. And then we have, Daft Punk's Tron Legacy score, which I love. I think it's beautiful. But then I was like, man, I only get 4 from each. I was like, I have to narrow this down. And it was stressful. I'm not saying I sat in the car crying, but I was sitting in the car listening, my Bluetooth wasn't working for some reason. So while I was parked, I was listening to some stuff. And I was just trying to jam out to it to get a good feel because I was going to drive around in my car because it has a good sound system. So I was going to blare some music. And I was just driving around. I'm like, how do I narrow this down? And how do I do each song justice? because there is so much out there about the Purple Rain soundtrack. And so I've always loved it. I've always known about it. But Nick, I didn't know how much of I knew everyone loved the movie. It made a ton of money. But I didn't know how much of the soundtrack was just gigantic. And the introduction of guitar solos, the revolution. Geez Louise, man.
Yeah, and it's gorgeous too. I picked up a copy of it on vinyl. I love the artwork. I think the artwork is fantastic. You don't really see anything like that. You might see something similar with Rick James's Street Legal, where it's kind of him in the city. But Prince is on a motorcycle in the city, assumedly in the rain, obviously with Purple Rain, but just the combination of everything, it is magnificent. And I definitely had a hard time because there's not a bad song on the album. There really isn't. You could pull any one of those, put it aside as a single, and I think it would chart really well, at least top 20 for every song.
Oh, yeah. A couple of these were just number 1. It was just, the first 2 that came out were top of the charts. just gigantic songs. And they're all, you watch the movie too, and they're such an integral part of the film as well.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
you know what's interesting too is the Purple Rain soundtrack works outside of the film too.
Yeah.
So some soundtracks, when you listen to them, they got like a good beat and you enjoy them with the movie, but outside of the movie, they're not as exciting. But this one, I mean, it was released before the movie. So it just works as a soundtrack and it works for the movie. And I would say the same for Tron Legacy too. I mean, I've been jamming out to Tron Legacy and I've just been going through the playlist up and down, up and down. I love this soundtrack and it gets me going. And so what we're doing is we are going to draft 8 songs total, 4 songs each from Purple Rain and Tron Legacy. You're going to have 8 songs total. I'm going to have 8 songs total. Mm-hmm. And we are going to build a super squad of Purple Rain and Tron Legacy songs. Movies, I mean, it makes no sense, right? But we adore these soundtracks, so why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Two great tastes that taste great together.
You know what's funny? When we first suggested it, I'm like, oh, that'll be a fun, like, easy episode. But I just have to do so much research that I was man, I felt like Scrooge McDuck. Instead of swimming in gold coins, I was swimming in the research of all these things.
Just all these papers.
Yeah, it was pretty. I mean, I got a lot of cuts, a lot of paper cuts. I had to get airlifted out of my paper vault.
You weren't doing the crate challenge. You were doing paper ream challenges.
Yeah, and I was just soaring through them. I mean, I look like Sam Neill from Event Horizon right now. At the end.
That's a good pull.
Right? I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
It's like, yeah, that's me.
Ooh.
That's what I look like right now. But it's worth it. It's going to be worth it.
Ointments and gels.
I'm going to give you... So, what do you want? Let's do Purple Rain. Let's do each a Purple Rain pick, and then let's do a Tron pick, then a Purple Rain pick. It. So I'll let you go first this first round. So you can have what is it? You'll just have first this go around, then we'll take a break, and then I'll come back and I'll jump up in the first spot. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because we're not really competitive, and all the songs we get are going to be good.
Pretty much. And
either way, if like I'll probably put this up for a poll, but either way, Purple Rain and Tron win.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's like a reverse Alien versus Predator. No matter who wins, we win.
Exactly. No matter who wins, the world loses. Wait, what?
That can't be right. Wait a second.
Jet ski versus snowmobile. No matter who wins.
That I can see.
A vehicle that uses gasoline will win.
No matter who wins, the mechanic is going to have like a really tough couple days.
Yeah.
How'd all the snow get in the air intake on this jet ski? I don't know. Why hasn't it melted yet? I don't know.
You know those guys?
You're the mechanic.
You know those guys who are like Discovery Channel? Yukon Gold Peddlers.
Yeah.
That'd be jet ski mechanics. And it's just...
I would watch that show.
It's like Tanked, but they just argue about fixing jet skis all day.
I would absolutely watch that show, especially if they got like some old retro style jet skis in there.
I ordered a quarter wrench. This is a 6-inch commercial. Like they're about to show it back to the owner and the bottom falls out and then there's a commercial.
They draw it out for like 3 acts of the show. It's an hour-long show.
I couldn't believe it. We put it in the water and it sunk.
I mean, yeah, I know snowmobiles are going to do that, but...
I said, Vinny, are you sure that's a jet ski?
Put it on a pontoon.
Yeah. Have you ever jet skied on a pontoon? Have you ever snowmobiled on a pontoon full of snow? It sounds like fun now.
We did it up in Minnesota.
I mean, I suppose you could.
I don't see why not. The pontoon's big enough. And it was on some kind of like treadmill apparatus.
If your jet ski is on ice and it goes through the ice and into the water and you're still on it, you're kind of jet skiing for a little bit.
Well, I think after a while the jet ski would just break through the ice because as soon as you hit the water, you're going to ramp it. And the water's going to project you up onto the ice and then you're going to fall through. So in a way, you're breaking a passage for other boats and aquatic vehicles to get by. So you're a hero.
That was my job in high school.
Being a hero?
Yeah. What do you guys need? I'm here.
I don't know.
There's a volcano. It's about to erupt. I got it.
Done.
I just come back a half hour later. Told you.
Well, he really did solve that. How'd you do it? Hero never tells.
Yeah. I just diverted it the other way.
There's another town that's just travesty.
Johnsonville's off the map. My kids were there. The
30,000
entire town moved
people
there.
died.
Yeah, everyone retreated there because they thought it wasn't going to hit there. Well, this town is. All right, here we go. So, first pick for you. What are you going to pick first? We'll start with Purple Rain soundtrack.
My first pick. It's got to be It is, and I thought long and hard about this, and I have to go with the first track. Let's Go Crazy.
Yep, that was my first pick.
It sets the tone. Name another song where it just comes in with organ and, Dearly Beloved, and there's a whole speech, and you're like, yeah, I'm feeling this. And then the music just comes in, and then, when the elevator tries to bring you down, Go Crazy, and the song just goes right into it, and it's fun. And some of the lyrics are goofy, slip on a purple banana till they throw us in the truck. But overall, the point is like, hey, man, you're not going to be around forever, so just have fun. Like, if you don't like the world you're living in, make a change. Do anything. And you're like, yeah, let's do this. Let's enjoy the time that we have. Hell of a guitar solo at the end and that big like rock and roll freak out that builds up.
Oh, man.
There are recent, before he passed, live performances of this song. And he did very much like a 70s, like when Bowie and Ziggy Stardust, or Bowie as Ziggy Stardust toured live, he kind of slowed down Moon Age Daydream and gave it like more of like a gong, like a rock feel. He does that with Let's Go Crazy. He turns it into like this 70s like blues singer song, and it is fantastic. Like you have to seek it out. Like it is so good. So it adds this extra level to this song of like, now it's not just Let's Go Crazy. It's like, let's go crazy. And we're going to rock it out at the same time. Like it just adds. And I feel like you can do so much with this song too. Like it's almost too good. It's almost too good a song to start an album, because most albums, it's just, I don't know. It's just such a phenomenal song to start the album with.
And what's kind of crazy is, like, I just love the build up to the guitar solo. And I was doing a lot of research about this song and just how it shot to number one. But so many people's minds were blown by the guitar solos in this, and just with the band, like the crew that he was with, and just the way they were knocking those out. When Wendy was in there as like her guitar, like just all the just the way that they crushed this song. What's tough too is when you open up a movie or an album on a very strong song, that's a bold move.
Absolutely is.
It's like, because it's just you lay the gauntlet down. And I feel like this entire album is kind of a gauntlet. But yeah, that's a bold move to put that song number one, because you have to keep the energy up after that.
Yeah, it's like a band coming out and they're like, hey, here's our big single right now. Boom, they hit it, and then they hit you with everything else because they're so confident in the music and what they have. A lot of bands, I don't want to say aren't confident, but they kind of hold the big song, their big number, until the end. And then there's a big celebratory thing. But for bands to come out and be like, no, you're going to love what we have to say. Excuse me. Bam. Biggest single, and then on to the next one. And that's what this album does. That's how this album starts. It's like, here's a phenomenal song. You're going to love if you like this, you're going to love the rest.
That's like Skynyrd starting out with Freebird. Or, I don't know, Blink-182 starting out with Damn It. Like, just hitting hard. And then everyone's like, ah! And then keeping that up.
Could you imagine Skynyrd starts with a 13, 14-minute just trailblazing jam of a Freebird, and then like, all right, give me 3 steps. Like, it's a real step backwards.
Just, yeah, or I don't know, Muse starting out with Hysteria. Like, that's not, like, you the audience just gets jammed, like, yeah! Oh, man. I want to see that. That's a gutsy move by Skynyrd, but I love it. Now, it's my pick, and normally, there are some legitimate classics in here, but today, when I was listening to the soundtrack again, I was watching the movie, people are going to think, whatever, I don't know, people are going to think I'm crazy for picking this movie first, but the problem is, there's so many good movies. Like, even in the next round, you could pick something, and I could pick something, and we'll be equal. But I'm just going to take, and I don't care, I'm going to take Baby I'm a Star.